Did you guys see the Instagram story last night about the kid who rang the doorbell without his shirt on?
Oh, I did see that.
I did.
What a dick. Like, I got a doorbell. It was after Dan left, I guess.
Kensington's finest.
Poop at the door?
Nah, but did you see him?
burning bag?
He kind of has, you know, when Steven doesn't have spiked hair, it kind of has the similar haircut.
The Lloyd cut?
That's what the kid looked like. He just looked like straight out of Kenzo.
It was my twin brother.
It was he and another hoodlum wearing no shirt and two girls following behind with no shirt.
Looked like an excerpt from the movie Kids.
Yeah, actually, come to think of it, I didn't think about that, but yes, that is pretty similar. And the other thing is that the place next door, I called the construction guy, called him twice today.
Yeah, hello. What can I do for you?
Yeah, you broke my building a little bit.
Is this the little pussy that lives next door? With the bird arms?
And the badonk?
And the big ass? You want to go on a date?
Yeah. Their
Goodbye.
fence, our Canon security cameras clearly show where the fence has been, literally with the foot of the damn thing pressed against the wall, then pulled out, then pressed against, like, it's there, which clearly it lines up right with it. So I just need the guy to call me back so he can fix it.
Well, when you were looking at the footage, too, it showed that it was perfect, and then the next day in that same exact spot, there's like, you know, it's disintegrating their whole
Rubble.
entire wall because they're hitting it every day.
They knocked out plaster, and then behind the plaster is brick that's breaking.
Yep.
It's kind of frustrating and annoying, and they just keep putting stuff against our wall and a porta potty where somebody died, and they moved the porta potty. Now they use it in front of the building to do heroin.
Great.
Let's get started. Jared Polin, FronosPhoto.com. Welcome to RAWtalk episode number 222 as we progress our way to ending the show forever. No, let's first before we get to that, you can already feel how hot it is in here. Can you feel the heat already?
I can feel the heat off of Steven.
Speaking of heat off of Steven, we're going to talk about Steven's trip to Disney. Did you go on the log flume?
I did.
You did go on the log flume?
I did. Well, no, I only went on Splash Mountain, which is kind of a log flume.
Mountain, yeah.
But you didn't go on the original log flume.
No, I only went on Splash Mountain. Was like the only actual water ride.
Why?
Because my girlfriend does not like getting wet, her water rides.
And why is she dating you?
Rides.
I'm just going to stop talking right now.
Dan's laughing at you.
Yeah, it's funny.
Well, because Todd wanted me to bring up a joke that I don't think I should bring up.
That was kind of the joke, anyways.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Did you have...
Hi there, Steven.
Micky!
I miss you.
Hey!
I really wish you would come back.
Why?
You and your girlfriend.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It was great meeting you.
I enjoyed watching you and your girlfriend through the peephole in your door. I just sat over there and Goofy was next to me.
Oh, gosh. I really was excited.
Minnie was there, but she was busy.
I hate both
That's
of you.
because she would...
I can't even go.
Let's keep it PC. It was a good trip, though.
Yeah, so...
And I'm not leaving, like that clickbaity title that you had.
It had a question mark on it, Steven.
Steven is leaving? Question mark?
He is leaving to go to Disney.
Yep.
Super clickbaity. Fake news.
Yeah, fake news
We
all
need to
day.
do more of it because it gets views.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If people actually click on it and go, oh, okay, yeah, I'll watch that, but we deliver.
So you went to Disney and you went to...
So we went to Disney, we went to Epcot, all four parks, and then we went to Universal for 2 days, and then we had an off day as well. The only thing that sucked is that it literally rained every single day for at least half the day. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. What were you doing?
Nothing?
Yeah, I saw that.
I didn't.
Did you, photo-wise, you did the photo pass?
So we did the Memory Maker Pass, which it definitely is worth it. It's like $120, and basically each package, if you actually were to buy that individual photo at the park, is like $25 alone.
Because you get all the ride
and you get all the
videos.
ride ones.
Now, did you talk to any of the photographers?
I didn't really talk to any of them, though.
Did
Did
they
you
take
get
your picture?
recognized anywhere?
No.
I see. That's because
Dude, it's literally an
I'm
assembly
way more
line.
famous. I'm way more famous.
It's just like next picture, next person, next person, next person, just snapshots.
Yeah,
for
but
the
can't
most
you
part.
just grab them out and about in the park?
You really can't because they're always so busy. There's always a line behind them most
It
of the time.
depends. It depends. It probably depends on the location.
What
too.
I didn't like is that I felt that going there, I was like, all right, I'm going to see one like every 10 feet. We'll grab them and take pictures whenever we want. I would say only in the beginning there was like 5 photographers. Then I couldn't find any throughout the park. So
Right.
it wasn't
You could call
that
for
busy.
a refund.
No, I definitely got my money's worth because the rides alone, we probably got 15 different ride pictures.
I'd call
and if
for
I
a
would have bought
refund.
them, like I said, it was like $25 each.
Yeah. Yeah.
So definitely worth it for that. I brought the RX 100, which I loved, the Mark IV. At first, I was like, I'm not going to use it at all. And then I ended up using it the entire trip. I probably took like 800 pictures.
I mean, Todd did the same thing when he went to Disney in
Todd took zero.
California.
Crushed it.
Zero
He's like,
pictures.
hey, Jared, can I thinking I'll take that RX 100 out to Disney and take some photos.
I basically
it.
just kept it in aperture priority the whole time, and it was just taking like snapshots for the most part. But there was a couple pose pictures that we did with Nicole, but that's about it.
And Micky.
And me.
But it was nice because the video, like we'd be in the queue for like Buzz Lightyear or something, that ride, and the queue is so dark where you're waiting in line.
Yeah.
And I would just do some 4K video of like walking through the queue, and you could see everything crystal clear at
Really?
like f1.8. Yeah, I mean that camera is great. It's expensive, but it's really great for how small it is. And I used it. The batteries lasted every single day, all day. I only used one battery, and I have like 4.
What did you do? Charge them at night then?
And what I did is I brought the USB charger and just charged them via USB, so I didn't take up any more room bringing a whole charger and everything. And it worked out great.
Yeah.
So picture-wise, we got everything we wanted.
Good.
Just weather-wise, it
How was the
really,
food?
really sucked. The food was all right. I wasn't a huge fan of the dining plan because the quick service meals you would have hated
Oh, of
because
course
it's
you would.
essentially like fast food that you're
is.
getting.
That's all it is, yeah.
But the dining plan where you're getting the actual sit-down tables, you get 8 of them. The higher-end restaurants, though, you have to use like 2 of your table services. The castle, Cinderella's castle, we went in, we got breakfast there, and the bacon was like the best bacon I've ever had in my life. It was awesome.
That's
well worth
because
it.
of Mickey.
And
Mickey left a surprise on it for
but
us.
it was a great
That's one of
time.
the
I
three
mean,
pigs.
I don't know if I would do the dining plan again just because of the terrible food, but at the same time, what else are you going to eat? You can't really leave the park.
Yeah.
I mean, you can bring food in, but
Yeah, I mean, what we used to generally do was eat a big breakfast snack in the afternoon, then eat like a sit-down meal every night.
yeah. But even the breakfast there was like crappy,
Oh, yeah.
like McDonald's,
Yeah,
like
without
fast
a doubt.
food type stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, you would have
Jared
really
would've been
hated
flipping
it.
tables.
I don't
would've
know
been-
what you would have eaten there though. There's not many unless you're actually sitting at a table service type
I
restaurant.
will be going to table service restaurants.
Yeah.
I'd screw that. Give me fruit, give me some eggs, and I'll move on.
Yeah, so
Oh,
I
yeah,
definitely
and you could get that.
I
You could
definitely
get
ate
that.
like crap, drank like crap, and in the end, I actually ended up losing weight coming back because we walked like 10 to 12 miles a day. We
Yeah.
checked on the Apple Watch,
Yeah.
and then it was like 25,000 steps per day.
What happened when something got sent to your room?
So I got this big package, what they called a magical package from the front
magical.
desk. Yeah,
So
they
look,
called me up.
Go ahead, and then I'll tell you what happened.
So basically, I get this package. It's this cooler filled with like 8 beers. There's like chips and salsa and a bunch of other little like
Deodorant.
snacks.
It's
Yeah.
magical.
And basically, I didn't know who it was from because the message only read from your favorite mermaid and LaFoo. And I was like, who the hell is that?
Well, so when I called the service, it was Dan's idea. When I called the Disney service thing, I'm like, yeah, can you have it from, because your girlfriend's favorite character is Ariel. And
Ariel.
then LaFoo is LaFoo, and it's an inside joke. And so they're like, oh, we can't send it from Ariel. I'm like, what do you mean you can't send it from Ariel?
But how
what
come
if
they
my
can-
name is Ariel?
But how
what
come-
if my name is Ariel?
What I don't get is why can they use LaFoo though? You know
I
what I mean?
spelled it different.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
LAFOO.
I didn't realize
And she's like, well, we could say from your favorite mermaid. I'm like, fine. And that I probably should have put something.
You should have
that
put
wouldn't-
something else because basically what happened.
I was already upset on the phone. That sounded like Todd. You
Because Steve doesn't expect Jared to be generous.
want to be the agent on the phone?
No, I do
You
not.
want to be the agent on the phone?
No.
Well, the week prior, let's back it up a little bit. Our friends got engaged, and we decorated their house and put like congratulations, all this stuff when they were still out and about, and then they came home to all that, and so they were very appreciative. So she sent us a gift card that same day
For how much, though?
digitally for like $50.
Yes.
And then
Losers.
literally an hour later is when I got that gift basket. So we thought it was from them because
thank 'em?
your
Did you thank
favorite
them?
mermaid to me is like Nicole's best friend or something.
No, it's Ariel.
So we assumed it was them, and they're like, "No, we didn't send it." We're like, "Did they send it?" And they're just saying they didn't.
That's
and then
awesome.
Jared texted me the next day and
That's
was like,
awesome.
"Did you happen to get a package?" I'm like, "It was you."
Did you get my package? Because I went out of my way and spent money on you.
At first, I wanted to have Ariel deliver a cake, but then I'm like, they're not going to eat the cake because, I mean, I want the cake.
Well, he would have eaten the cake.
Now, I will say we went to Pandora, which is the first week it was open, the new park, the Avatar park, and that was incredible. That ride specifically, the flight of the Banshee or whatever.
Yeah.
You're literally in this motorcycle like seat where you're like crouched down,
So
like you're
basically,
on
they
the
took
dragon.
E.T. and they took out the seat for the
the
bike
bike.
for E.T. and put in a Banshee.
That's
and
cool.
the seat actually breathes, so it feels like you're actually on the Banshee.
You
It's
stick your
breathing,
dick right into the Banshee and it breathes.
and you're flying
That's
around.
weird.
And basically, you get all these scents and like cool breezes, and you're actually going through.
It is pretty cool.
It was
All right, don't
incredible.
ruin
And it was
it.
a long ride. It was like 6 minutes long. Like it actually felt like, you know, the queue was like insane. It was like 300
Yeah.
minutes to
Yeah.
wait in line. But luckily, we had a fast pass for it, so it didn't bother us at
Yeah,
all. But
rich. You're rich. You just buy
And you went
fast
to Potter
passes.
too, right?
fast passes are included in Disney. What's
you
up?
went to Potter.
We went to Potter too, which is very similar. That ride, the one where you're actually flying on like the broomstick. It's
Yep.
very similar to the Avatar one.
yep.
But overall, it was a great time. I just wish
Good.
the weather was better. Now, also speaking of gifts, I do have some gifts for you guys.
Uh-oh.
I went to a special store there
What?
at Disney Springs, and actually, Dan, you can come and I got a gift for you too.
Is
You
it
wanna
a
come up here?
microphone?
No, I got Dan one. This one's specific for him. You're welcome.
Open it on camera, Dan.
I got these though. These are my favorite. You can build your own Lego characters.
What?
And I basically tried to build one.
Does it say I
of
shoot
each
raw?
of you. No, it says player one.
Bullshit. Ready? Does it say ready player
No,
one?
but that's why I got player one. So basically, Jared's character, if you see, I found a little afro. And by the way, the only pieces of hair there were all afros because who the hell wants an afro Lego? And I know Dan and I were talking about we needed
They were like,
an afro.
buy one, get 20 free.
Literally, there was all afros. So I got Jared's afro. I got a little paintbrush for the Bob Ross and all that stuff. Some pink pants. You love your pink pants.
Yeah.
Now, Dan, I got a little hatchet and some camping stuff because one day he's probably going to kill us all with this hatchet.
Yep, that's true.
And then Todd, I gave him a little leg, stumpy leg, because he's got those bird legs.
Fuck off.
And a little fairy stick or whatever, magical stick. And
Yeah.
I gave you a little stash.
You should've gotten
because of your
Sweet
new
Frank.
mustache.
Freaking sweet.
But I got that for you guys. And on top of that, I actually got real gifts for you. I got a Chewbacca little Lego for Todd. And I got the dark side for Jared.
Yay! Keychain. So what Dan get? A mug?
Dan got a Lego mug because he loves his coffee, and it says Dan on it. Yeah.
Wait, they didn't have one that said Dan?
But I saw that store. I'm like, I have to get something and then
Get
show
off
it on
my
RAWtalk.
microphone.
All right, let's move on. Glad to have you back.
Yeah.
We'll come up to your next thing after this. But while you were away, I made a vlog.
I saw.
It was Operation Fisheye, going out to Alan's camera and lunch and all of that stuff. Todd and I went and flew drones for Operation Fly Drones for Greenpeace.
Is that what we're going to call that one?
I don't know what I'm calling it yet.
Operation Drones.
Operation Drones. But it was for the show that he directed and
still hasn't finished.
they haven't finished yet. So they needed some footage deep in the heart of Port Richmond. Deep in the heart of Port
Nice.
Richmond. We're talking like 2 minutes that way.
Ghetto of the ghetto. Pretty
No,
bad.
it's not. It's just but the houses are funny looking with how they're like row homes, and then his house is split right down the middle. You know, one side's one house, one side's the other. But then there's like cool brick, like weird looking brick, yellow, and then the other one it just ends. It's like
And then
what?
purple, and then pink house. And it's just, yeah.
But anyway, we flew the drones. Todd didn't flip it or break it. Or
I got awesome footage, but I will say I went back in the evening so I could get night shots
with the drone?
with the drone because I was like, I wanted day shots, I wanted night shots, I wanted to get sunset because I need to use this all through the show.
Transitional stuff, yeah.
And I get there and it flies up and the camera just goes, psh, and I'm like, what did I do?
Which drone was this?
It was the 4.
The Phantom 4?
Pro.
I'm like, Jared's gonna kill me. I broke another drone. Come to find out, the software needed updated. So I had to run back to Jared's house,
that, but they,
update
like,
the
force you.
software, and then come back out. And then I missed sunset, but I got night shots.
See, that's what happens is like they force you to update and they don't let you fly and then
Yeah.
you miss stuff.
And
Like
then
that.
I can't figure out how to update every time because I'm like, well, what plug do I plug in? Then you have to literally plug the phone into it
It's a
using their
pain
adapter.
because it has to use the LTE, right? The service to actually
Yeah.
download it. And
Well, not
everything.
LTE. I did it at my house
Or Wi-Fi,
over
whatever,
Wi-Fi.
anything, yeah.
But yeah, you just need to have all the plugs with you. It's just confusing. Why did it work all day for 60 minutes, 80 minutes of flight time, to then he goes back at night for it to stop?
And I feel like they push those updates like daily.
It's a
we
big,
always have to
that
update
was
it
a
every
big
time we
downer.
fly.
Yeah, exactly. And you should be able to say, look, don't update the app until I say so.
Yeah.
Because I feel like maybe the app updates by itself, and then you're screwed because you got to update the drone.
Exactly, it
and-
has to match, and that
Yeah.
always happens. And then the controller too. Sometimes you have to update that.
Well, and I did. I had
Yes.
to do both. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Whole
moving
thing.
on. You came home on Sunday. You had to shoot the 104.5 festival
Yes,
birthday show.
So I
And you had an
literally flew
experience.
home Saturday night, got here for Sunday to shoot the thing all day from like 10 a.m. to like 2 a.m., literally all day. So one band in particular I photographed, and I was the only one allowed to photograph this band. I was the only one approved. I'm not going to name the band.
Don't name the band.
But just look up the lineup, and it's one of the headliners. Let's just say that. And
just look on the bright side of it.
They were very, very particular on their photographs and their image in general, specifically the frontman. So basically, they gave me permission to shoot the band for 3 songs, the entire pit by myself. It was great. They actually said the tour photographer would be with me, but he didn't show up.
Why
until, like,
just
the end.
you?
Well, they basically said they're very picky and they never ever allow anyone else to photograph the band. And I guess because they played our show, they did let someone from the station photograph them.
Oh,
They probably got paid a lot of money.
Initially, they were just going to let their actual tour photographer take some pictures and then give that to us.
Which is what they should do also.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But
That I
actually,
can still understand.
I didn't end up seeing any of the pictures that he took that night. Maybe they just didn't release them yet or what. But I had to go through like 4 managers. I had to meet with the managers before I went in there to go over the process of how I would take the pictures, what time I would go. Then I had to I found out that I had to then get them approved before we posted them, each individual picture, by the front man himself.
Dang.
So set went well. The only issue was that there was crazy high monitors on the stage and the lighting was a little rough, but I ended up getting some decent shots. And I go back, we're going through, and one of their managers is like, all right, give us like your top 40 and we'll narrow it down to like 5 probably. He usually picks like 4 or 5. I'm like, oh, great. So I pick out 40 and I was very happy with them. Me and my photo editor, we were both like, yeah, he's going to love these. They're great, blah, blah, blah. He's going through, we sit him down the laptop, and it's really cool because the front man of the band you just photographed is going through and viewing your pictures personally and being like, you know, I like this, I don't like this. But he prefaced the whole thing. He's like, just want to let you know, nothing, you know, no disrespect to you as a photographer or your photographs. I'm just very particular on how I look and blah, blah, blah. So we go through, and he's going through, and he's just like, okay, I like this one, I like this one, I like this one. And as he gets to like the 5th picture, he's just like, delete, 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 delete. And I have to delete almost every single picture I shot, delete. And they basically watched me delete them.
They're not on the memory card still or in your trash can.
No, definitely not. I definitely did not keep them at all. But they were very picky on what they had to watch me actually delete the images from the computer and the card. So that happened, and then we're talking to each other, me and my photo editor after, and he only picked like 7 pictures, I think, to keep, which the tour manager's like, oh, that's good. You got 7 pictures.
Yeah.
He usually doesn't do that. And he ended up picking, in my opinion, as a photographer, the worst pictures of the bunch.
Yeah.
Like all these pictures that I thought were great, it's something about his face, whether the wrinkles or he's sweaty or what.
Yeah.
I had these great poses where he's like hands up, singing, looks awesome, the crowd's there.
That's why rock and roll is dead.
Now,
That's why you never let actors in the editing room.
but yeah, I mean, it came out okay in the end, but I was a little bummed that like he deleted 75% of the pictures and wasn't happy with half of them.
That's the thing, is like, you know what the right photos are, and they spot something that nobody would ever notice.
And you could tell, we were trying to figure out like, what's he looking for? It's something in his face that he just didn't like. He would just real quick be like, nope, don't like that. He didn't care about the pose or anything. It was the face.
And I've photographed people where they wear a hat all the time, and if they didn't have a hat on, then they're like, they don't want pictures if they don't have a hat on because they don't want to show the bald spot. It's like, get over it. You're getting old.
On the flip side, I thought it was a really cool experience because that singer of this huge band is like literally going through your pictures on your laptop one by one next to you, and you're like going through them with him, and it was a really cool, surreal experience, but at the same time, disappointing as well. So that's the kind of stuff you have to deal with when you photograph these monster bands.
Steven, if you do look on the bright side, you did get to photograph.
I did.
From the pit.
I did. And I've photographed them before at Firefly, for example, and they didn't let anyone shoot them except their own tour photographer.
I still don't have a problem with that anymore. I don't. I know people complain that, oh, like Beyonce, why are you not going to have people? Because you know what? They hire a photographer to go and do it. Then they're going to distribute the photos from that night that are going to look better than what most of the bloggers are going to shoot, generally speaking.
Yeah.
And we know that a lot of people want to go and shoot the show because they like the bands. I mean, shit, it was great going to so many different shows because it was great going to so many different shows. It's cool that you're in the pit and you're where you are shooting the band.
It was, like I said, surreal. Like I almost got like, I was like getting like goosebumps because it was such a cool experience. I do wish though that they did let us do like front of house soundboard at the same time because those monitors that were there, like wasn't even worth shooting in the pit because they covered the entire band. You couldn't even see them. And this stage I'm shooting was like 8 feet high. So it's a high stage, and you're all the way down shooting like all the way up. But again, I got some good pictures, and one of them I may have posted on my Instagram, which you can check out and figure out which band it is. Actually, it's not black and white, the one I posted.
Black and white's better.
Most people, like 75% of people said color.
They're wrong.
So I went with color
one too.
They are wrong. It's classic.
No, I
in
agree.
black and white. Look at the cover of their album, the first album,
Color
with the
looks
trailer.
good to me.
Right?
I like
that's
the color
black
better
and
than
white.
I don't think their first album is black and white.
Second album, whatever that
Second
album with the trailer
Yeah.
thing. I just the color looks like a snapshot. The black and white seems classic and iconic.
I like them both.
Just the way that it looked.
Yeah.
Because the color in his the tones in his face looked better than the tones in the color.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. The last thing we want to talk about before we get to photo news is a discussion and a question for you guys, and it's about RAWtalk. As you know, we've been doing RAWtalk every other week because that has freed up time for us to focus on other pieces of content that we've been able to roll out. The major question is, and I'm looking for your answers to this in the comments or anywhere, is would you be okay with RAWtalk being just audio? Meaning we sit and we record.
Just no video.
But there's no video. And I know we've built ourselves on being the top-notch video podcast type thing because we know that a lot of people listen on YouTube. They may not watch it on YouTube. There are things that you may need to see, like memes or things like Gear of the Week, but we can describe it. Yeah, Wheel of Fro and things like that. But the reason, and being completely honest with you and open here about how this all works, is that it takes Dan, and that was a real stutter, like 3 days of manpower time, including today, to the prep. And he's not editing something else right now because he's sitting over there. Then he's got to edit for at least 2 days, if not more, depending on how long the show goes, because we're already 22 minutes in. And then there's my day here that I'm not doing something else. I mean, I worked this morning before I came in. There's whatever Todd does. There's a day for you, and then another half day of work where you've got to watch what Dan's edited, give him some notes.
I basically review and give him some notes.
And so there's all of that. And is the time worth the reward? And the question is, for us, is RAWtalk last week did 18,000 views, and it did...
Clickbait title.
It did 12 to 15,000 downloads of the audio or listens of the audio, which isn't terrible. But on the flip side, we know everybody loves real-world reviews. Real-world reviews, in contrast, average over 100,000 views per video.
Oh, yeah.
Except for the Pancakes. Has only done
that was
like
more a
50 or
5-minute
60.
portrait, though, I would say. But
yeah, but still 5 minute. I actually think I went back and looked at the numbers, and it's all over the place which ones do better. But I think real world reviews, depending on the titles, still do better.
Yeah, I agree.
So our focus, if RAWtalk continues the way it is, it makes it harder to go do those real world reviews. Because it takes Dan away from being able to edit, which means if I'm doing Photo News Fix, then Steven has to do the editing for Photo News Fix on the days where Dan is doing the RAWtalk, which then takes away Steven from editing a real-world review, which then pushes that into another week.
Yeah.
And so that's the reality, is we love doing the show, but is the time worth the reward? And we know people love watching and love listening, but it's not like it's a 50,000 or 100,000 listeners and viewers every week. That would be a totally different story. If it grew to that point, now we're 222 episodes in, I don't know that it's going to grow to that point here. It's grown to a nice place. The audio gets downloaded sometimes each episode over 20-some thousand times within the first month, which isn't terrible.
My main question is how many people just play it on YouTube and just put it on in the background as it's being played,
and then occasionally look,
solely listen to the audio, until we talk about the Lego gifts or something and they want to see it.
But even then, I mean, I like listening to podcasts. You don't generally need to watch them because it's mostly the audio. But when I started it, the whole point was I have all these followers on YouTube. Why would I not put this on YouTube? Why would I just push it onto iTunes on a podcast network where maybe these people don't want to consume it? So we could still put up the audio on YouTube, and it just says RAWtalk, and you listen, which I don't think is that big of a deal. We're just, this show looks great.
Yeah.
It looks great, but our efforts should be spent creating those shooting videos instead of talking videos.
I agree, because essentially those RAWtalk weeks, the week we film it, becomes solely just photo news fixes and RAWtalk. That's really it. It's just Dan's doing RAWtalk half the week, and I'm doing photo news fixes that week.
Or me putting out some filler-ish content, which isn't bad, like the rapid fire critiques for Adorama picks, which I haven't put up one in a minute, because it's like, the other thing is, do we put up only 2 videos a week? Because I'm still putting up 5 videos a week.
Yeah, is more content good, or is it bad?
I don't have answers, because
yeah,
sometimes you see the guys that put up 1 a week that do tremendous. Then you see guys that put it up 5, 6, 7 days a week, and they still do great. I don't know the answer to that, because it's been over 7 years of me making videos where, in essence, I was daily vlogging without vlogging, because I was putting up a new video every single day.
Yeah.
But anyway, we posed that question to you. To keep RAWtalk going, would you be opposed to just listening? Even if it's posted on YouTube as just audio only, would that kill it for you, or would it basically be the same thing because you're listening? I know some people sit and watch it on their TV, but if it was getting 50,000 to 100,000 views every episode, it would be a different story. Then you'd be hammering it home.
It'd be completely worth it, yeah.
Then you'd be going to do it. Maybe then we should go do more live, because then if we did live, we don't have to film it. We can just do audio and put it out, and then not let
people
Todd
won't
drink.
see me pass out.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's what we posed to you. Let's move on, because we got to keep this semi-short so Dan can edit it, because I want to do a photo news fix this afternoon.
Yeah.
Yay.
It's time for the photo news part, and the show will evolve, because with photo news, we know that with photo news fix, I'm giving news stories, and then Steven was away, I did the photo news fix extra. Did you hear my audio?
No.
It's tremendous.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I used the NT USB right into GarageBand, and I didn't even know how to use GarageBand.
Perfect.
I'm like, well, I left it flat. Not flat, because the audio, the NT USB does a great job.
It does sound great straight out of the mic.
So I just pulled down the decibel level, because I didn't want it to peak, watched as the spikes did what the spikes did, because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't, overmodulated or any of that stuff. And I just recorded and spoke in a more calm, down-to-earth manner and put it out.
So you basically just dived a little deeper into the news?
Yeah, so the point is that photo news fix is
about
4.5 minutes to 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And I have more opinions than what I say in that. And so I think for people listening for the podcast, it gives them another thing to listen to in the car, or while they're walking, or while they're working out, or whatever they're doing, where I can tell a little bit more about the story.
And you're putting that only up on Libsyn, like in the
Yes,
podcast?
I did that as a podcast wherever podcasts are found.
Gotcha.
I also did the Pictures in Your Mind, which I'll continue probably as an audio podcast.
Mind.
I like that exercise. I
Polin.
enjoyed it. And
I have to watch that.
I put that on YouTube just to see what would happen.
Yeah, people like it?
Some people, I think the majority of the people liked it that commented. Some said this is stupid, but I think it helped paint pictures in people's minds. And it helps you think and visualize the world slightly different. Because I don't like reading, but when you read a good book that paints a great picture in your mind, you're like, I can see what they're talking about or what I'm reading. Like, I can visualize it, and I'm building this world in my mind.
Yeah.
And so the same thing is, I'm helping you build this photo in your mind and then showing you the image at the end, and then you're like, right. But it's to help you see the light. It's to help you see the angle. It's to help you see all of the details that go into making an image. And then you see the image.
Oh, at the end you see it.
If you watch on YouTube, you see it. If you're listening to the audio when you're not driving.
Okay. So you are still going to put it on YouTube no matter what?
No. Well, I did for this one, the first one, but I also have a website. It's fronosphoto.com/mind, MIND01. And so I say that in the podcast so that people can go look at it when they're not driving.
See the picture itself.
So they can see the picture.
That's cool.
And I'll try not to put them on Instagram.
Interesting
around
concept.
the same time. I like the concept.
Yeah.
All right.
Photo news time. We've got a Detroit man was nearly shot and killed this past week after police mistook a music video shoot for an actual crime in progress. Police received several 911 calls about an armed carjacking in progress on the city's west side. Now, when police arrived...
At the 6th mile.
When police arrived, the man appeared to be robbing the driver of an Aston Martin. Now, the man then turned around and pointed the weapon at the officer as he was getting out of the car.
My Lord.
The police then began to open fire, shooting 3 rounds. Luckily, though, no one was injured. I'm not sure if anyone was hit. I don't think anyone was hit.
It said nobody was hit.
Yeah.
That's
An investigation later revealed that the men in the cars were actually filming a music video and that the guns were indeed fake. However, none of the men had filed the necessary permits to shoot the music video, so police were unaware that it was happening. The 3 men behind the video were taken into custody for the lack of permits and then charged with disturbing the peace.
I didn't know you could get arrested for lack of permits. They should have been arrested.
What city was this?
What was that?
What city?
It's Detroit.
This was Detroit.
Okay.
And
8 Mile.
Well, 6 Mile. It happened at the 6 Mile.
6 Mile.
I didn't even know that was such a thing. But Photo News Fix that I wrote the script for, I just said the moral of the story is don't go to Detroit. And it's a joke. I've never actually been to Detroit. I would like to go to Detroit. I hear there's some nice parts of Detroit, but
I like Detroit. It's quiet though. It's quiet. Like it's like a ghost town during the day.
if you're going to film something, like when we filmed the security camera footage outside, we didn't get a permit, and we didn't need a permit.
He wouldn't have a fake gun. That
We
was
didn't have a
running
fake
around
gun.
with.
We just had a weird guy running around outside, but some people did ask him what he was doing.
Well, yeah, and they kind of figured it out at some point that I was because I kept talking to you guys over my phone. But I'd be curious what the permit process is in Detroit, first off. Because Philadelphia's a permit-free city unless you block a street.
Oh, okay.
But if you're shooting prop weapons in this city, you have to notify the police so that they know. And the last time I did that, they sent police officers, and they just stick around. They stand there while it's all going down.
Laugh at
so
you.
people don't get nervous.
They were already nervous. You were shooting a movie in the ghetto.
But these guys had ski mask on, all kinds of guns, went up the alley to kind of come around to the scene. That's the way we were shooting. And somebody up on the next block saw it and reported people with guns on the next block. So the SWAT team, helicopters, everybody still came.
Did you film it?
I don't remember. I don't think
That
so.
would've been
They
great
still
B-roll.
came, but we had cops right there. So there was still a miscommunication. Luckily, we didn't have any problems like that. I mean, as soon as the
They
cops
didn't hear
came,
it
they
like
were.
over the radio, and they could have been like,
I think they
that's
figured out.
clearly
The
us.
cops kind of pulled up behind the other cops, and they were like, "Yeah, we're good. We got
Yeah,
this."
go back to.
But it's
you're doing
that's
that.
tricky. I mean, anytime you've got prop guns or prop like crime scene reenactments,
Yeah.
you should let the cops know at least,
And-
even if you're a permit-free city.
There's actually video too of this that someone shot, and you could see the officer getting out of the car, and then that's when you see the guy turn back around with the gun, and you just hear shots fired, and people are starting to hit the ground. I mean, it was in the middle of like a regular road. It wasn't even like it was a parking lot or anything like that.
The moral of the story is in all seriousness, don't be stupid. If
Yeah.
you're going to use prop guns and you're running around the streets, people are going to get scared. Just don't do it. Do that indoors.
And it's one of those things with DSLRs. People use them. You don't need a lot of lights. You don't need a lot of stuff. So
Run and gun, essentially.
You can go out and run and gun with a DSLR, and nobody sees big lights. Nobody sees reflectors. Nobody sees
They
like
don't know it's a movie
It
set.
doesn't look like
Yeah.
a movie set because you don't need that.
Yep.
So all of a sudden,
It's
things
real
go
life.
bad.
It
Things
looks
go
like
bad.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we have Forever 21 and Urban Outfitters are being sued by photographer Danny Clinch for allegedly using a pair of his iconic photos of Tupac Shakur on T-shirts without permission.
Yeah.
Wait, this photo? Dan, pop up that photo?
Now, one of the photos, that one specifically in question,
No, that's me, actually.
was shot on assignment for Rolling Stone back in 1993 and then later featured on the cover in 1996. Now, California-based merchandiser Planet Productions granted a license to New York-based BioWorld Merchandising to produce, manufacture, and distribute apparel featuring photographic images of Planet's roster of music clients, which Forever 21 and Urban Outfitters picked up.
Love.
Now, in reality, Clinch never granted them a license to use this specific image.
He didn't have a license to ill.
Exactly.
What? Shut up.
Now, Clinch is asking for $600,000 in damages.
I hope he gets it.
And-
And I hope he doesn't have a lawyer to give some of the money
Yep.
to.
According to the suit, defendants without the authorization, knowledge, or consent of the plaintiff deliberately and willfully copied, displayed, distributed, and sold the copyrighted photographs on such infringing T-shirts and perhaps other apparel. Now, we saw this photograph when we went to his studio. Remember,
that's
he's
right.
got a giant,
Right, yes, we were in his
like
studio.
a 60 by 40
Like
above
big.
his door or something.
You know,
That's like the original. It looks awesome.
So
Wow.
I think this brings up a good point that ignorance of the rules or law does not give you the okay to break the law. You know, for example, if you just get your driver's license and you're driving and you go through a stop sign, the cop doesn't pull you over and you say, well, I'm new to this. I'm 16.
I didn't know I had to
he
stop at a stop
He just
sign.
lets you go because you didn't know the rules.
Although it says stop.
You know, the same thing may apply in other avenues.
I mean, they found it online, so it should be free, right?
Everything's free online.
Yeah, Google.
I'm not going to say what I'm talking about. Todd should know.
I never know what you're talking about.
I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then Apple has unveiled the most powerful Mac ever made, introducing the new iMac Pro. The new iMac Pro basically looks just like your standard iMac, but now it comes in space gray.
It's got a badunkadunk.
Just like you. Now it has a 27-inch 5K Retina display, now with 500 nits of brightness, which is 43% brighter than previous iMacs, they say. And it's powered by a Radeon Pro Vega GPU. And inside you'll find a new Xeon processor, which comes anywhere from 8 up to 18 core configurations, which is pretty big. Now, Vice President of Hardware Engineering John Turnus says, we re-engineered the whole system and designed...
We re-engineered the whole system.
And designed an entirely new thermal architecture to pack extraordinary performance into the elegant, quiet iMac enclosure our customers love. iMac Pro is a huge step forward, and there's never been anything like it.
It's more like 2 steps forward and 1 step back.
For example, the newly improved cooling system now generates up to 80% more cooling capacity in the same enclosure as previous iMacs. This helps the machine perform exceptionally well, even with advanced graphics editing, virtual reality content creation, and they even say real-time 3D rendering. The iMac Pro can be configured with up to 4 terabytes of SSD storage, up to 128 gigs of ECC memory, and it comes with up to 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports that can connect to up to 2 high-performance RAID arrays and 2 5K displays at the same time. Now, here's what people don't love about it: the price. It starts at $5,000 for the base model.
What's wrong with that?
It's the base model you're talking about.
Yeah, but take off $1,500 for the monitor.
I'll just do a
I'd say
sale
about
on the
$1,000
guides.
for the monitor.
Right,
because that was their old
and then you're
displays.
at a beginner trash can.
$4,000 for a beginner trash can?
Yeah,
I thought
sure.
trash cans started at like $2,800.
They start at $39.99.
Not one you'd want, Steven.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
I was reading that estimations, they don't have actual pricing on what the whole thing would be. I was on 9to5 Mac or Mac
because what
Rumors.
if you're getting the 18 core configuration?
They did an estimation. They think that a max out one could be about $17,000 because they said that an 18 core is another $4,000. You're spending $2,some hundred for 128 gigs of RAM. You're spending X amount of dollars, like $2,000 for the 4 terabyte solid state. You're spending, I don't even know what they said, an extra $2,000 for the better video card. And they estimated, because the configurations aren't out there yet, that it's $17,000. Now,
Sounds about right.
I love the iMac because everything's all in one.
It is nice.
The question is, we've got these BenQ 31.5-inch monitors. I would have liked to have seen them make a larger screen for a Pro.
Me too.
Though I can understand that they already have the infrastructure built to make 27-inch monitors because that's the same manufacturing they've had for years.
He says that they re-engineered the entire inside of it.
Right, but the monitor, in terms of the panels, that stuff's
itself is the
already,
same.
they already have the assembly and everything for that. And that's an expense they wouldn't have to do. I know Richie's excited for it. On the other side, they still may be announcing the modular system where you get your own, a Mac Pro itself. Though, I get it. A Mac Pro itself would be great to have a box that is simple and easy to upgrade a new processor, simple and easy to upgrade the video cards, and upgrade RAM and all that stuff over time. Because what really changes in these things anymore are the processors, the video GPU, and the other things get faster and cheaper, the solid state memory.
Yeah, I
so
feel like
really
they-
just a box where you can send parts back to Apple for trade-in or buy the parts, and it literally pops out like the Hubble Space Telescope. Everything that they build for space is modular so that they can turn some screws, pop one thing out, pop another thing in, and it works.
Yeah, I mean, I'm debating on actually getting one of these because I do have to upgrade my personal computer at some point. It's been, I don't know, 10 years now for my personal computer. So, but $5,000, I'm not sure if I want to spend that kind of money. And I already have a monitor at home, so it's like, do I really need? I hate
then
to
you
see
could
that
hook
go to
both
waste. I could hook both up, but
You
do
have
I
a
need
4K
both?
monitor at home?
It's a 2.7K. It's not 4K.
We bought it.
Well, this would be 5K.
That's like
bunch of years
4
ago.
years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still a great monitor.
But that could be a little display above your head or
It
something.
could be, for sure. Yeah, it could definitely be a second monitor. But I'm debating on getting it. It does start shipping in December, they say. I assume Richie's going to get it right away, probably.
Yeah, he may, but
he
who knows
upgrades when he doesn't even need to upgrade.
Well, he's upset because about a month ago he updated the iMac.
That's what I mean. He upgrades and then,
he
like,
bought another iMac, and then they came out with the new iMacs,
Yeah.
which are pretty cool.
that stinks.
All right,
But I
let's keep
love
moving.
the space gray, though. I'm
I do
glad
too.
they finally
I
came
do
out
too.
with something other
Oh,
than
they came
white.
out with the new keyboard. Did I tell you?
The numeric keyboard, too, right?
Wireless, yeah.
The full...
I bought it.
good.
I have it.
Yeah, I know you've been
works.
wanting that for years.
He has the old one though, the old color, not space gray.
Yeah, I have the regular color.
Yeah.
because I didn't
You got
want
the
black.
corny one.
They didn't, actually, they're not selling the space
I'm
gray
waiting
one
until
yet.
space gray comes out because I'm way cooler.
Space Gray does look pretty badass.
That's what I'm saying.
And then Apple is also introducing a new file format for photos in their upcoming iOS 11 update, which they say will save you 50% on storage. It's called the High Efficiency Image Format, aka HEIF. H-E-I-F.
Heath.
Now it uses the H.265 compression, which is HEVC, to save up on storage
yo,
while
Heath.
maintaining quality.
I knew a guy named Heath once.
Greg Barbosa of 9to5Mac tested the new format and compression, which ends in a .HEIC file extension
Which I
instead
hope
of
everything
.JPEG.
can open. And are we going to be saving in
That's
Heath?
what I wonder.
Well, if you're using an Apple, then yes, they're going to
Like,
do
will
that.
Lightroom update to now let you compress to this HEIC file extension?
Absolutely.
Now,
But the question is, will there be loss? Like, that's the thing.
there's still going to be, it's not lossless. This is a
No.
lossy codec.
Is it the same exact look? Like,
Pied Piper.
is it? Well, yes. I mean, I asked what
It essentially
the Weissman score was.
Yeah.
But the question is, do the JPEGs with their compression look the same in quality-wise as the compression with this new Heath? That's the question.
Yeah, it's definitely a good question, but I will say the H.265 codec is supposed to be really, really good.
Isn't that what the drone, the new drone's going to
The
do?
new drone records in H.265, and then Premiere and everything lets you export it, but nothing supports it yet. Like YouTube doesn't support H.265, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because I
will.
hate H.264. I just think it looks terrible. It's still not. It looks too compressed almost. Where this compresses it actually even more, but doesn't look like it. So that's what I like about H.265. Now, this guy says from 9to5Mac, the outputted JPEG image weighed in at 2 megabytes, while the HEIC image came in at 1.2 megabytes, almost cut in half. Similarly, the H.264 encoded video was 61.2 megabytes, while the H.265 video was about half that at 33 megabytes.
Which is good.
And iOS 11 is currently only available to developers and will be available as a beta to the public later this month.
Yeah, and then I want to know, will camera manufacturers have it save in Heath instead of JPEG?
Yeah, it's an interesting...
Because it will create less. The point is for Apple is
I
that
shoot Heath. Trademark.
the thing with Apple is that most people don't give a shit that are taking pictures with their cell phone. They don't care about file formats. They don't do anything with it other than share them. And so
I agree.
if they can shrink the file in half, good Weissman score, if they can shrink the file in half, then when they are emailing it, when they are texting it, when they are doing whatever they're doing with it, then it's less data to move.
Yeah.
So it's quicker and costs less money.
I am surprised Apple is doing it, though, because I feel like now they're going to capitalize on... They're almost screwing themselves over by people aren't going to buy, I feel like, as much memory in their phones now. Instead of getting a 128 gig phone because you're going to have it for 2 years and you don't want to fill it up, you're getting a 64 gig because you're going to have
They
less
just
of the
won't
memory.
offer it.
Or they just won't offer
They'll
it
just
anymore at
offer
all.
like, I don't know why they offer 32 than 128.
I just feel like
and
Apple usually does the
256.
opposite of something like this. I mean, it's great. I love it. I'm just kind of shocked.
Well, the compression is good
Yeah.
because they know it helps them.
Yeah, my girlfriend, for example, like her phone has been filled up since like the second month she got it
Can I
because
ask
she
you something?
films everything.
What's with girls and filling up their phones? And
Yeah,
then,
why? I don't understand why people don't dump.
I don't
stuff on
know.
their phone.
Now, she also uses the cloud, too, so none of it's actually stored on her phone, and I hate it because when she's browsing through pictures, it has to take a second to actually load the image from
It's
the
like,
cloud.
did you get my dick pic?
It's in the cloud.
It's in the cloud. And then
Hold
we
on.
have...
Is it a dark cloud with rain?
And then we have fake news. Now, this
this the
was
last one?
Yeah, this is one story going around this week that I just wanted to bring up. It's obviously fake.
Well, I didn't want him to bring it up.
Wrong.
An anonymous wedding photographer...
No, I didn't want you to go into the story.
Well, I was just going to read I have to say what the story is.
I just want to preface this. I didn't do a photo news fix on this, and I didn't mention it on Facebook or share this bullshit because sometimes I'm in an interesting position because people want to know what I think about stuff going on. So a lot of people were sending this saying, "What do you think about it?" I read it and I'm like, this is clearly bullshit.
Buckle your seatbelts. Here comes another ranty Mick Ranterson.
It's just you have to think about I don't want to perpetuate these news stories and give them validity. So we're calling it fake news regardless of it's fake news. It's bullshit. But we're bringing it up because people asked about. I guess Steven wanted to bring it up.
I'm bringing it up
and I'm going to
for
tell
you to rip on it.
that it's bullshit.
Yeah. It's clearly fake. That's all I'm saying. Now, an anonymous wedding photographer was recently asked for a refund guarantee in case the newlyweds eventually got a divorce. This thing was posted on the Reddit message
Of course
boards.
it's bullshit.
Yeah, so,
well, if any of you,
go to town.
like,
That's all I
oh,
wanted
what
to
do you
say.
think about this? Jared, can you believe what the world's coming to? Can you believe what the world's coming to when you think that that's real? In whose right? Like, yes, I'm sure there's a bunch of people out there in this world that would do
I was gonna say, I wouldn't be surprised if people actually thought that.
But the last thing that many people are going to say that are truly getting married are that, oh, we're thinking of getting a divorce. And if we get a divorce, will we have to pay for our photos? Like, fuck off. Seriously, stop perpetuating this bullshit.
And then there was another fake news story going around, too, about Fuji or something,
Well, there was
right?
a fake news story out of Japan, which, from what I've read, has started...
Godzilla?
What?
Was it about Godzilla?
No.
That's real.
It started on a
That's real.
random blog and then worked its way up to the main news sites. Even Petapixel posted about it.
Well, Petapixel posts about everything
Well,
now.
they do post about it, but they also took a different approach. I don't know if they question it, so they didn't...
It's a report.
They didn't validate, like Todd says, they're rumors types of stuff, but they still perpetuate it because it gets clicks. And it's that constant battle of, do you do it to get clicks? Do you not do it? Like, what's the point? And it's just, I get very flustered with the sharing of bullshit because it just is perpetuated. Like, I saw other photographers that I know, oh my God, can you believe this?
Well, I had a ton of people send
me
this specific story, and they're saying the same thing. Like, I
talking
can't
about
believe
this
this, blah,
one.
blah, blah. And I'm like, what?
I'm like, can you please use common sense?
Yeah.
It's coming from an anonymous source. It was posted on Reddit. Somebody put it together it could be some 12-year-old out there making a stupid joke that all you people spread out there like giraffes as your profile picture.
Or it's the stupidest couple in the world.
Could be.
It's the dumbest couple in the world that you.
I mean, I
ever
guarantee
met.
there are people that actually think like this, that it's appropriate to ask for this, which is ridiculous.
I mean, I guess if you're on your third wife, you might be concerned about that.
I've had occurrences, and I've heard of people that have had occurrences where actually a guy's wedding that I did shoot said that his first... They were divorced before they even got delivered their album.
I've heard of...
And they asked, what did the photographer want to do with the album? He's like, just throw it out.
Yeah,
burn
I
it.
know people that got divorced like a month later, and they never even got the pictures. Yeah, they still had to pay, but obviously.
Oh yeah. No money back guarantee on that.
Isn't that crazy? Like a month later? How does that happen?
Denial.
And that's it for photo news.
Let's get into Gear of the Week, and then I've got a bunch of flying solo.
Yes.
Yay.
Gear of the Week, there was a vlog for. This is the brand new 8 to 15 millimeter Nikon fisheye. Whoops. If you try to shoot at... what is it? If you don't use... Oh, the lens hood
you're at
shows
8
up.
millimeter,
You have to
yeah.
take the lens hood off.
Yep.
The lens is actually, now that I'm holding it again, it's a bigger lens than the old 16 fisheye. There's
Way
a lot
bigger.
more going on in here.
That
The old
16
one...
fisheye was tiny.
It was tiny, but it had a built-in lens hood. It was metal. It was made in Japan. This is made in Thailand. People seem to make a big deal out of where shit's made. I don't
Fake.
really give
That's
a
fake.
shit
Yeah, I feel like it
where
doesn't
it's
matter.
made. It's a gold. It's a Nikon gold lens because it has the gold ring on it, even though it's not a 2.8.
What is
doesn't
it, a 3.5 to
It's a
4.5?
3.5 to 4.5, where Canon's is
Not
an
bad.
f4 straight.
All around.
It's sharper. It's so much sharper than the old one.
Would you only shoot with it at, say, 15? When does it fill the frame? At 15 or at like
15.
13?
You have to look. I'm not really sure.
Because I know with the Canon, I thought like around 13 it like actually fills the frame. It starts to fill the frame at least.
At 15, it's where it fills it.
Exactly.
Completely. It gives you a nice fisheye image. It's a very limiting lens. It's not my first, second, third, fourth choice. It's probably a fifth lens that I would buy in somebody's kit. I bought it because, there's some people like, it's just so expensive at $12.49. I'm like, did you look at the price of the 16 2.8 new? It's $9.99.
Is it really?
Yeah, still $1,000.
Wow.
I traded Richie my 10.5 fisheye when I got the D3 for his 16 2.8 because he had a crop sensor camera.
That's funny.
Yeah, I traded him that one, and that was a better lens. That was a AFS. That was a I don't know. Actually, I don't think that was AFS. That was just a 10.5 fisheye.
I have the Sigma 8mm circular fisheye, which actually we use for the intro
Postman
to
Fro.
the Postman Fro for the peephole. But I use that sparingly. Like, I mean, I take that out of my bag once every 100 shows. Sometimes I like to get the whole room or something like that.
Every once in a while.
But I only use it with lens correction in Lightroom because it really does a good job.
The
And you
circle.
can manually adjust it. Yeah, it will fill the frame in Lightroom. It'll stretch basically
From
the
the
entire
circle.
sides.
Yeah.
From the
Really?
circle.
It's
and it
pretty
works
cool.
really well. And you can even then go ahead and crop the center out if you wanted to.
Garfinkel.
But it does a great job again, but it's just so warped though and distorted.
Yeah.
So you really have to use it for a specific type of image.
And we're gonna do a real world review of it. We'll take it out and get it. We'll probably go shoot some skateboarding because that's what people like to do with fisheyes.
Yeah.
So
Hell
just for fun.
yeah.
So moving on, let's get to flying solo. I've got 3 video questions.
Ooh.
And then some other regular questions.
Let's do it.
Nick Mannery here with my flying solo question. This is not going to be your typical gear photography question. I would actually like to know, what is your favorite content to make? All of you guys. And maybe why. That good? Pew, 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 pew.
I like
You're
the
welcome.
guy.
There you go.
It is a good question.
There's a good one.
I don't know anymore what my favorite content is to make.
Nothing is Jared's
I think
favorite.
we've discussed this. I like going out and doing my personal project and doing those photo shoots for the day. But then as soon as I leave that, I'm back to being pissed off at something or
This is favorite content just for Frono's photo he's speaking of?
yeah. I honestly don't know anymore what my favorite content is. The bad answer is my favorite content is whatever pops and works. That's the fucked up answer in my head now. Because I am so, and I talked to the therapist about it, which it doesn't matter because I know that you're not supposed to worry. Don't compare yourself to others. Don't worry about numbers. Don't do that stuff. But how do you not worry? Like, where's your affirmation that you're doing something good? Where's that come from? You know, so
Love.
my bad answer is whichever videos do really well.
I mean, for me personally, I think it's the real world reviews. They're the hardest to shoot, to film, to produce, everything, but they're definitely the most rewarding because I'm usually very, very proud of making them. I mean, they take all week to shoot or to edit at least. They take about a day to shoot, all week to edit, and I think people really, really enjoy them. I love reading the comments about people want more real world reviews. They love the production behind it, all of that stuff. So I think real world reviews for me is probably my favorite. What about you, Todd?
I hate all of it.
That's
Thank
what I
you.
figured.
I mean, I like narrative, story-driven stuff. So, you know, the Fro shows are always cool to me. I mean, the only things that get me excited are telling a story that can move the needle for people emotionally.
Which, same thing, it's very tough to shoot those, and
Yeah,
it
very
takes a
hard.
long time to edit, but they're just very rewarding, and I think the end game, that final product is awesome every time.
The hard part is gauging where to put the time. Where is the effort better spent? Does it even matter what you do? Because you could put out a 2-minute video of me just looking at something and it could just blow up and be shared 8 trillion times. And then you can put out a show where you went to Germany and you're like, how do we get people to watch this? Though they should be watching it.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Like, I would love to get more views on certain things, but in the end, like, personally, to me, it's rewarding to see the final product and how much work we put into it, and it's awesome.
It's
in the
awesome.
end.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really care about if it gets views or not, because I'm not worrying about that as much as you, but I'm worrying more about the production and what people think about it.
Next, we have a soldier, Brandon Henthorn.
Hey, Fro, question for you. Hearing a lot about in-person sales versus, Facebook, Instagram, other ways. Do you agree with in-person sales wholeheartedly, or do you think that there are other better ways to market yourself as a photographer?
Well,
Let me know. Thanks.
when you're sitting in front of somebody, it's much harder for them to blow you off than it is for them to blow you off in an email. But in-person sales, it's where somebody can get a feeling for who you are.
Yeah.
Like when you don't book a wedding through email, though those really inexpensive ones on Craigslist that want you for $400 will book a wedding for over email because they don't give a shit. They're just price shopping. They just want somebody to take pictures.
And then they don't show up to Dan's wedding.
Then they don't show up to Dan's wedding. Then if you're sitting across from somebody, you can show them your work. They can get a feel for you as a person because you have a discussion. It's just so much easier to close a deal in person than it is to try any other way. Now, you can solicit people through ads and other forms of social media, which is a way to get an introduction, but word of mouth from a friend of a friend is still a better way than an ad showing up on somebody's page randomly from some person. Because if they're like, like we've been recommending Twin Oaks. I've been Twisted Oaks Photography. They did Brandon's wedding from Alan's camera, and I like the work that they did at I like the work that I saw. Because at it, I was busting his balls.
But it wasn't like they
Snapchat.
showed 10 pictures. They showed hundreds of pictures.
Well, that's what sold it for me is when within a couple of days or less,
2 days.
There was a blog up on the site where Mandy, Brandon's wife, posted the link on her Facebook, and I click on it, and I'm scrolling fully edited images, looking at 100-some pictures that are all worthy of being
solid
keepers. And so I don't give a shit at that point if you shot 2,000 photos and you delivered the 150, the 3, whatever it is, solid keep. That means a lot to me, opposed to seeing 20 pictures and then getting back 2,000 and going, this is shit. You got lucky 20 times. And so that's word of mouth. I've recommended him recently to a friend who's getting married, who's like, we're leaning towards that direction. And the guy behind it sent me a Facebook, and he appreciated it because I'm sure I don't know if he expected it, but that's the thing. I don't shoot weddings anymore, so I just think he did a great job.
I think he did too.
Next up, Randy Smith.
Hey, Fro and the gang. Just wanted to know your thoughts on Facebook ads for wedding photographers. Do you think they still work? Do you think it's a good option for marketing? Or are people so fed up with ads on Facebook they just kind of pass right over them? Just want to know your thoughts. Thanks, guys.
So that's an interesting question, too, because when I was shooting weddings, we didn't have Facebook yet. Facebook wasn't a thing that you put ads on because it wasn't there.
I don't know if I would want to find a wedding photographer from like a Facebook ad, though.
No, unless you look at your friends or people that you photographed and you find their friends of friends who are getting engaged, who got engaged, or looking for a wedding thing, and your friends see the video because you put out a really cool video, 30-second, 60-second video ad of like, hey, we shoot wedding, and you've shown great photos from weddings and people enjoying it because you had it put together professionally, and you send it as an ad where you target your followers, people that you target, people that you've shot and their friends.
Friends of friends.
Now, the problem with friends of friends is that it just exponentially goes to people that may not matter. But the goal is that if somebody shares it because they saw the ad, you don't pay for the share. You don't pay for who sees it after the share, I don't believe, I think. But that's the point, is you want to share it with your friends, have them share it with others, because they're like, they'll tag a friend you know who's getting married, tag a friend who's been dating a long time, and it's just about awareness. So even if you don't book very much from it, it probably won't cost you that much to promote it to your target area for people in a specific age demographic and also friends. So I don't think it's bad, but it shouldn't be the only thing you do. You should try those. I loved the bridal shows, and I haven't been to one in years, but I still loved how the reaction. Now, the unfortunate thing is when I was doing bridal shows, there was the good year, and then there was the 2006, 2007, where it was over. Like, people came to bridal shows and they're like, yeah, we have no money, we have no money, we have no money, because it was the debacle. And so that was harder, because I remember leaving one and I had like 5 referrals right after the wedding, 5 people that wanted to meet up, and I booked most of them. And so that was good. So those are those 3 videos. I got a couple more. Jay Brosnan. Hey, Fro Team, Jay here from Brisbane, Australia.
Oi.
Oi. I have a question re the Sal Sincata debacle. I'm sure you will agree that editing process is a major part of the whole process, which determines the overall look and style of your photography. I watched Sal's Creative Live show a few years ago, and because Sal's big into business, he does the Creative Live stuff a few years ago, and assuming this is still the case, that he outsources all his editing. What are your thoughts on someone like that entering/winning photo comps when they've only done half the job? I can almost guarantee he wouldn't be going halvesies in the prizes with the editors. Would love to hear your thoughts. Keep up the great work. Well, even if he paid somebody to do the work, he shouldn't go halvesy because he physically paid somebody to do the work.
It's like a work for hire type thing.
It's a work for hire. If it's a collaboration, though, that's a different story. What do I feel about people editing your work? I am not a fan of people editing my work. I know that there's wedding photographers that shoot 2-3 weddings a week, and they will have a person on their team edit in their style, and then they'll go over after and do that, because it's not hard to copy somebody's style, but you also don't have that same feel of how it. I think you should be processing it.
I agree.
Though on the Ansel Adams front, we know that Ansel Adams was a master in the darkroom, and there also were many other photographers that shot and then had people do their printing. But they would come in and be like, more contrast, more this. They just didn't have the time to do it themselves.
They would still direct in the end.
They would still direct it. I'm not, and I'm sure Sal's, if he is sending his work somewhere else, has directed somebody on his style. I just personally feel like I want to sit and edit my own images.
I completely agree. I've also used a couple of those services where you send your pictures away and they edit a couple of them. I tried 3 different services just to see how it would work out, and I purposely made some of them underexposed, angle, little Dutch angled, and just messed up the pictures a little bit to see if they would fix them. I feel like everyone, they just threw like a generic
They hit a
preset
button.
on there
Yeah.
and just synced them all. So to me, I was
Really?
like, yeah, I could just do that at home with a general preset.
That's what I do.
Brendan Crowell's Fro. I've been seeing some new products that photographers can buy and connect to their hot shoe, and magically it sets the camera to the perfect settings, i.e., bracketing, f-stops, ISO speed with white balance, everything. I think this craps on our creativity. Your thoughts? So this is talking about there was a Kickstarter that did over $1 million, $1.2 million dollars. I don't remember what it's called, but it's an AI-assisted device that plugs into your camera, has an app, and will search out images on the internet to try to help you get the right settings based off of what those images or the situation that you're in. It's kind of not much different than what the auto modes are, but it's smarter than what the auto modes are.
In terms of, like he said, bracketing and stuff
Well,
like
bracketing, or it does focus stacking, or if you want to shoot you're shooting water and the water's flowing.
that. How does it know what it's shooting, though? Like, does it scan the scene?
You pick it. You touch what you want, and then it's like, all right, this is the scene you're in. What do you want it to do?
Gotcha,
I mean, it's just taking the auto modes and putting them on
Expanding
steroids.
them, yeah,
So
it's
I don't think that's
advanced
a
auto
problem.
modes.
I think it can help somebody be more creative. If that helps somebody enjoy photography more because they're getting better results, then I'm all for it. I'm just blown away that something, they create this and they raised $1.2 million through Kickstarter.
I still feel like things like this, though, I feel like fully manual is always the way to go, to more creative control.
So I think let's give it the benefit of the doubt and say that learn from what this AI is telling you to do, and then turn off the AI and go replicate it yourself. It's a learning tool, I think, to become a better photographer. And I'll give it the benefit of that doubt in my new form of thinking as a therapist person. Because I've been to therapy, it totally has changed my life twice.
When did that Kickstarter actually end?
I don't think it's over. I think it may be ending now.
Oh, okay. So the product's not actually out there.
No, but they had a timeline for it, and
I just wonder how practical it really is, if it actually does work that well.
It looked
on
like
every image.
Who knows?
It always looks
it
like
also
it,
comes
though.
down to the user.
Yeah.
Are they going to be able to use it properly?
That too.
And then the last one I threw in there, Brian Brigham. No, take back your horn for this.
Take it back.
Hold on.
Reverse that.
Why are you almost only focusing on Nikon versus Canon? There's more than just them. What about Pentax, Olympus? What about medium format, Leica, Mamiya, Hasselblad? That's his question. Then somebody else commented back that Jared has Nikons. That's what he shoots with. And then he commented back to that person, what about mirrorless cameras? Then he comments to someone else saying, yes, Nikon is what he prefers, but he compares the two, Canon and Nikon, a lot. Well, that's because they still are the top two selling cameras. We should compare mirrorless when it comes to Sony and Fuji.
If they would send us their cameras.
So let's keep going. And then he doesn't buy the gear to review it. Companies send him stuff to be reviewed.
Yeah.
And this is the stuff that it's just like, no, you're absolutely cluelessly wrong. Yes, companies do send us stuff to review on occasions. But for the most part, we are on our own fighting to get units one way or another, whether I pay to rent them or I bought this fisheye lens because I'm going to use it. And let's talk about Sony for a second. We have a connection at Sony that's trying to get us stuff, but it hasn't been easy. We haven't gotten anything yet.
That's the thing. Or we'll try and request a certain item from a company and they just will never send it.
They'll never send it. So it's not like they just send us stuff. It's not easy.
And anything they do send us, we have to send back.
And they
majority
do go
of the
back.
time. Yeah.
And so with something like the Fuji, I rented that from Lens Rentals.
Yep.
So I still paid for it, and Lens Rentals gave us a discount because they were getting a plug in the video. That's what with Borrow Lenses, it was great before they got all corporate. They would send us gear no matter what we wanted because they understood they got a plug. So I kind of don't recommend Borrow Lenses anymore because they got corporate, and I don't recommend that you use them. Steven also used to use Lens Rentals before Borrow Lenses and liked it. What I like about Borrow Lens Rentals is they're right in the middle of the country and they've got really fast shipping. That is, not saying that Borrow Lenses didn't have fast shipping. I was very happy with everything from Borrow Lenses. I just think that Lens Rentals has more options and more gear.
I've always found that shipping was usually cheaper too.
Oh, that's true, because they're right next to a FedEx facility, and so you had that. So I recommend going to Lens Rentals. They're not a sponsor. They just hook us up on occasion with some discounts. Now, I priced out what it would cost to rent the Sony gear to go do a real-world review. It was over $800 to get what I needed.
This is for the A9?
For the A9 with a grip and 6 batteries just in case, to get a 70-200 2.8. And this is for a 7-day rental because we need to get it early so we can learn to use it. Because a lot of people yell like, oh, you don't even know how to use it. Well, we do know how to use things. When I also like the challenge of picking up a camera the first time, but this is something different. This is an A9, and people would shit on us if we didn't do our due diligence. And, you know, it's going to get an honest review like everything else gets an honest review.
I'm excited.
So, no, the companies don't just send us gear to review. The funny thing is, Nikon doesn't even have this lens yet to send out.
That is funny.
I get it. I'm able to get it at the store before they do.
The MPS users, right?
Not MPS, just Nikon Press.
Wow.
So the press doesn't even have access to some of these things. Like when the D5 came out, there's maybe 2 units, and DP Review has one.
I feel like there's been several occasions where we tried to get gear from, say, Nikon or Canon, and like B&H would have it before they would even send it out to media.
Yeah, so
before
sometimes
they even had units.
Sometimes you have to buy the unit to get it to do reviews on it.
Yeah.
And I don't like doing that because then I own it, because I don't want to ship it back. That's cheating.
And then you always say you're going to sell it, and you never do.
But that's why I've got future plans for that.
Oh, okay.
Future plans.
Ooh, secret.
And that's what I have to say to Brian Brigham. You're not winning because
Brian.
Yeah, Brian.
that's what I have to say. We would review like Leica. Well, I'm not going to go rent a Leica.
Oh,
unless
why? You don't
Leica
want to pay
wants
$2,000 to
send
rent it?
We tried to get Leica. It's worse than Sony.
We tried to rent that Hasselblad medium format one too.
Well, that took about
forever.
8 months to come in, and then by the time it came, we're like, screw this.
Yeah.
Do we need to do a real world review of this or not?
It'd be fun to do it.
It would be fun, but I didn't want to drop $600 on
know.
it. And
On like a
Fuji, on the
2-day
other
rental.
hand, I have the press connections. We've dealt with them before. They have not returned a phone call.
Really?
They have not returned a phone call. They have not returned an email about, hey, we just reviewed your XT2, basically giving you free advertising, and I paid for the rental. Here's the final results. Because I remember I contacted them about seeing if they could send us gear.
Yeah, I remember
They
that.
never even called us back.
Cool, thanks. Thanks, Jared.
And we don't know, who knows why.
Yeah.
Who knows why? Like, sometimes it's just hard to get a hold of the right people. And I'm sure people say, well, you're complaining about it. Yeah, I'm going to fucking complain about it because we have a reach and we have a way of getting to people. It's in essence free advertising that they don't have to pay for, that's going to get out to a lot of people and give them a quality, honest review.
Well, I mean, they're discrediting. Take yourself out of the picture. They're discrediting the people out there that watch your show. I mean, everybody that watches this show and all your reviews, each one of them is important. And Fuji should realize how important all those photographers are, and how Sony should think that they're important as well. You know, that your 650,000 people are important. They're important photographers to this community, and every one of those companies should at least want to speak to them.
Yeah, especially when they don't have to pay for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the thing, because back in the day, you wanted to reach people, you did ads.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would be more than happy for somebody to come along and want to sponsor a video. We'd be totally upfront and say, this video is sponsored by these people. Doesn't mean it's going to get a fair, doesn't mean it's going to get priority, or if something's bad about it, I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
It's not going to, it's going to, I'm still going to say negative things. And the truth of the matter is that just about any gear from anybody, whether it's Pentax, Olympus, Fuji, it doesn't matter. You're going to find pros and cons in both. You can get great results with all. And now I'm pontificating more as the show continues to run. But
everybody out there should tweet at all these companies and tell them to send Jared stuff
to review, because you want to see it. You want to see Olympus stuff? Reach out. Actually, Olympus was they were very helpful when I did reach out to them. They sent us a whole box of goodies. Olympus was fine.
A bunch of their Micro Four Thirds stuff.
A bunch of they did, because we did that for the table video. It was for Amazon. Remember? When it was like 2 years ago when we were doing stuff with Amazon.
What video was that? Wasn't that like mirrorless versus DSLR or something?
It was showing different examples of mirrorless cameras. Yeah,
that's what it was. Yeah.
And so they were very helpful with that. They actually rented it from Lens Rentals and had it sent to us.
Yep.
So instead of them sending it, was pretty interesting. Actually, no, that was Sony somehow sent that. And
I thought it was Olympus that did that.
Well, they sent all the boxes.
That's it.
They had all the new boxes. So that was cool. So let's spin the wheel, right?
Let's do it.
What are the ads that mean something on here? Rode microphone. Each and every week we use Rode microphones. These are the Rode broadcasters. We use the Rode. I use the Rode NT USB at home because it's like a JPEG. I don't have to do anything. It's already done. Where these are like RAW files where you have to tweak them to make them sound. You get a great file, and then you can make them even better when you tweak them yourselves. It's a good analogy, right?
Great analogy.
Great analogy.
And the video Mike Me is on the
Where'd you
live.
steal that
Dan, is
from?
live still even going? How many people are in there? 12? Yeah, they don't care. Lexar Media. We use the Lexar card readers. Love the hub.
Yep.
Love all the cards. Well, we've been using a ton of the cards. XQD, micro SD, compact flash is almost done. Except
still
if you
use
have
compact.
a 5D Mark IV.
Exactly, and I hate it.
You get all the guides. We got Adorama picks. We got Canon, the big prize right here. Kessler Crane. We have all the Kessler stuff, the Kessler Crane. Go to kesslercrane.com/fro. 10% off code is
Fro10.
Fro10. Use your Kessler Cranes. We recommend them. Now I'm going to spin the wheel.
Your bag's still on there, by the way.
Yeah, well, it won't land on it. And then
Pray to God it will.
Atmosphere Aerosol sent us this condom for their spray can.
It's
Look at
literally...
that.
It's
yeah.
nice because you can be a hipster and hang it by your side onto your like $1 million whatever those
That's
those
for,
the
that's
leather
for-
strap.
that's
The leather
for-
strap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It now
that's for the
matches your leg.
grips. That's for
Hold
the
on,
grips.
guys.
So
It's
they
like
can
that
hang it on.
steampunk type.
Hold on, guys. I got it. Shh. Can we get
You really
a grip?
can't get
Can we
it off?
It's got safety lids.
Can we
on
get
it.
a grip with muscles? Can we get a grip with muscles out here?
It's so good though.
It is cool.
I still love that.
It is cool.
All right, let's spin that wheel.
Todd's can's out, though.
No, it's turned backwards.
Around and round it goes.
Bag,
Where it stops, I hope I don't know.
Bag.
Because next up is memes.
Please God. Win a trip to Micky. Yeah. Please land on a bag.
Oh my God.
Bum, 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 bum. Kessler something or other is going to be going to Brandon Henthorn.
I think it's the quick release plate that they're still sending out.
That quick release plate helps.
It
Yeah.
is. It's great. We use it
It's
for
great.
the middle two shot.
Congratulations, Brandon Henthorn. You have won. And for everybody out there, let's give an extra plug to Kessler. Go to kesslercrane.com/fro just to go there so the numbers look good. But go there, look around, put some stuff in your cart for one day maybe purchasing because they have good stuff. Good?
Very good.
Yeah.
Let's get to memes.
Let's do it.
And here we are. It's time for the memes where you can send them into the great email address of singwheelofro@gmail.com.
Me.
I can't wait to see them. Todd, are we ready for the first one?
We are ready. The first one's
And-
from Ezekiel Espanola. This is Disney Moments.
I finally did it. I'm actually a princess.
So they took my picture and put Steven
Is that
in it.
Morgan? Is that
Yes,
actually Morgan?
That is actually Morgan.
Oh, that's a picture from Disney World too. When we were coming down on one of the rides, that's me with my
of
hands
course.
up.
That's pretty
That's good.
impressive.
And it says
Steven.
Disneyland, by the way. It was Disney World.
I commented
Get it right.
on your Instagram there.
says
You see?
crushed it.
Next one's from George Andre. This is me running away from carb. Todd running away from carbs.
There's like a sandwich in the background.
Seems like all these pictures you took of me, Jared, have been a hit in this version of memes.
Did Sanchez send anything in?
Yes. Next one's from Icy D. This is the Fro Romper.
Oh.
Apparently, Jared was out in his romper at the corner store.
I mean, that is his badonk.
I wasn't even supposed to be here today.
Exactly. The next one's from Marcel Deal. This is Sexy Todd. When I try to look sexy, I don't. Fuck off. Next one's from Mark Nice. This is the Fun Vacuum. The Jared Polin Fun Vacuum features 12,800 pounds of sucking power to ensure no fun is left in the room. Not sure why there's a Porsche there.
Fun Vacuum 2.8.
And nice spell checking on pounds. I think Jared made this one. Next one's from Mike Crawford. It's the air show, bro. Do you even shoot air shows, bro?
Is that Todd in the background in the pink
Oh,
car?
it is Todd in the background.
I was tired. I had to just drive.
What are you doing with your hands back there, Todd?
Don't ask.
Look, it says Alan's camera on the guy's sleeve.
Oh, it does.
Oh.
Oh, an I Shoot Raw sticker, too.
Yeah.
Next one's from Nico Tarin. It's Photo News Extra. Photo News Fix Extra. Now it's truly all about me. Exactly. And next one, the last three are from Sanchez. First one is Beaver and the Cop and Hetty McHenderson. New fall show on Fox Kids. No idea what he's talking about.
I have no idea.
It's
either.
No idea what he's talking about.
Sanchez is sitting there going,
He's giggling about something about this. I don't know what it is. The next one is from Sanchez. It's the Glutenator. This man once loved gluten until gluten betrayed him. Todd Wolf is the Glutenator.
Look at the little donut.
That's a sharp photo, though.
And finally, Sanchez sent us one called the Polin. When you realize wait, what? When you realize you just Jared his pole in you, but all he wants is to Todd your wolf.
You know he's sitting there
all
going,
night
I got
long.
it. I got it. He's turning to his Insta stories going,
I will say,
guys, I got a great one.
what he did visually, picture-wise, is pretty funny.
Yeah.
What he wrote, I
Doesn't really make
just
sense.
don't write anymore. Just do pictures. You're really good with that.
Oh, man.
But I feel like my face is dope. Oh,
What do we got to go with? Let's pick one.
Oh man, that's a good one.
The first one?
I did like the first one a lot.
yeah. I mean, I think the combining my Instagram and your Instagram
Yeah.
is spot on. So bravo
That is
to
funny.
Ezekiel Espinal.
Shit. I don't know the musical. Shit. I saw you move.
That's the wrap up.
Shit. Can we try that again? Mer.
Nope. Moment over.
That's it. No, we're done. Yep. No. Well, we're moving on. Sorry. Yep. That's over.
And that's memes.
Yes.
Let me remind you guys to let us know, would you want to see RAWtalk to be, if we did it every week, just audio. I don't know if we would do that, but maybe it would be easier.
I mean, if we kept it to like an hour show,
and we
it
came
was-
in and we
if it
started
was-
like 8 in the morning.
If it was literally just audio, I don't have to double check. There's no getting everything prepared. It's literally just hit record and I'm done. We don't have to set cameras
could
or
kinda
memory
take-
cards or anything.
do like from 9 to 10 in the morning on
That's
a
what
day.
I'm saying. Now I would still have to prep news and stuff, but if we're doing
Well,
photo
if
news
we're doing
fixes-
news, but if we're doing the show still needs to evolve
yeah.
or devolve.
Great.
Hashtags. Welcome back, Steven. Hashtag
Terrible.
RAWtalk audio or RAWtalk video.
Terrible.
Jesus Christ, I didn't even. And you
Jared
wasted
just
it.
looks so
You
pissed off
wasted
every
a piece
time.
of paper on this.
Wait, where's the little pieces from his
Dan?
notepad?
He was too busy. He was too busy looking at Facebook.
You wasted the piece of paper on this. We wasted the big surprise on you. The good surprise. Anyway, that's RAWtalk 222. 222. 222. I got to come up with some clickbaity title so that you guys watch it.
Steven is leaving again? Question mark?
Hashtag question
Todd's leaving for good.
Todd's leaving.
I hope.
Please.
Nobody will click on that because they would be like, fine. All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.